Welcome back to the All About RFID series. I'm Kyle Stanford, your RFID. Welcome back to the All About RFID series. I'm Kyle Stanford, your RFID solutions architect, and we are here today to talk about tag placement, best practices of tag placement to be exact. This is something that matters. I hate to say it again, but it's one of those things that can really wreck a project. You can have the best reader, the best antennas, the best cables, the best mobile readers. You can have the best software in the world, but if you put your tag in the wrong spot, you ain't going to read it, or you're going to have a lot of trouble reading it. So kind of broken it up into categories of things that we often end up tagging. So we're going to start with the simple stuff, boxes and pallets. Boxes and pallets are honestly something I get excited about. Sounds stupid. I get excited about boxes and pallets because they're simple. They're cardboard and wood. They're typically very easy things to track. The biggest thing on these is if you place the tag straight forward facing the reader, you are golden. If you put it on the other side of the box and there's something metallic in that box, then you are not going to read it. So tags face the reader, and don't fold them around the corners. Yeah, I've seen it. Do not fold the tags around the corners. Other things to worry about, metal straps on boxes or foil-lined boxes. Those exist for some specific products, right? It's going to give you that reflection from the foil. Just try to stay away from it if you can. Metals and liquids, next category. Metal and liquid, you know, are the kryptonite of RFID. Metal reflects RF and water absorbs it, right? So a tag on a beer keg that is not an on-metal tag is not going to read. So we're going to use on-metal tags on metal, right? That's the biggest thing. If it's on metal, use on-metal tags. Just like boxes and pallets, put it where the reader can see it. You can't shoot through metal, right? If it's a liquid, it gets a little more difficult. There are multiple situations multiple solutions you can use. One is a simple flag tag off the side of the bottle, but also the correct antenna for that is not necessarily a big patch antenna shot from 20 feet away. It's usually a near field antenna. It's going to use that electromagnetic bubble instead of those big radio waves. So the radio waves aren't getting absorbed. The electromagnetic bubble is tiny but powerful, has the ability to read some of those tags even when on liquid. So liquid, use near field antennas. Metal, use on metal. Vehicles and equipment. So vehicles can be tricky, especially at speed, but windshields, dashboards, plastic panels, they're all your friend, right? These are things that RFID does okay with. Doesn't do amazing, but it does okay with. I've been able, obviously, if you have a toll pass in the state of Georgia, we have Peach Pass here. It's a UHF RFID tag right above your rearview mirror on the inside of your windshield. Reads fine at 80 miles an hour plus more. The dashes are able to be read, right? You wouldn't do this for a toll pass, but we've done this for VIP parking, essentially. There were vehicles going through inspection. We had to make sure they made it through an inspection before they went onto the parking area. And we were able to read through a windshield at about 25 feet away with a nice high gain antenna. Again, tricky at speed. There is some configuration on the fixed readers that you need to do to make sure they're actually detecting at speed, because all readers aren't created equal. They don't all fire 100% of the time every millisecond. So you have to do some tricky configuration for that. Plastic panels on the outside, obviously a little bit easier to read. Make sure it's not directly attached to metal. It's the biggest thing on a car. Apparel and soft goods. So if you are selling apparel and soft goods, you probably have one option, which is the UPC tag. You can get these integrated into those UPC tags, and you can get paper labels that stick onto the UPC tags. As big as possible is nice, and don't fold the tags. It's the biggest thing. If you stack your apparel on metal wire racks, that's a recent one I've been dealing with. Metal wire racks are very hard to read through from above with something like a fixed reader. Very easy from the side with a mobile reader, right? But very hard to read through from above. Metal racks, metal cages, different things like that don't do well with RFID. So don't fold them and use a standard paper inlay. They don't need any kind of special tag. If you are selling into different retailers, specifically the Walmart of the world, then you can go to the Auburn RFID lab, and there are certain inlays that are approved for use on certain goods. Specifically, here's the section for apparel, right? So these are tag inlays that you can use if you are tagging apparel that's going into a Walmart. Electronics and IT assets. These, while they're plastic on the outside, have a lot of metal, and that plastic is usually right against the metal. So you're going to use smaller on metal tags. This is something like a Competex Blade, Zebra Silverline, Blade 2 Plus, or micro, right? They're small, but they're still on metal tags. So they're able to deal with all that metal that's inside of those electronics and not be susceptible to all that reflection and absorption that's going to kill the signal, right? And avoid covering, this is a good one, avoid covering any antennas that are inside of that unit. An on-metal tag is a tag, it's metal, right? If you put that over the Wi-Fi antenna on a laptop, the IT department is going to hate you. Do not do that. Put them somewhere, anywhere that there are no external antennas right under it. And this may involve you actually looking at schematics of that particular laptop or popping off the bottom to see where these things are. All right, what not to do. The biggest thing is do not put a non-metal tag on metal. Time and time again, I walk into projects and they cannot get their tags to read because they are using the wrong tag on a metal thing. Just use them on metal tag. They're more expensive. It sucks. You have to pay a little bit more for the tag up front, but you're going to get the read rate that you were looking for. Folding tags, right? So any tag, if you take it, this is the full antenna, and you fold it like that, you just killed a third of your antenna. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes because that antenna is metal and it's touching it, it literally just stops reading. Do not fold tags. This tag's useless now. Mounting behind metal. So this is an interesting one. You'd think it would be simple, but when I say metal, I mean even like a chain link fence can be really destructive to the RFID frequency that's trying to shoot through it, right? So people trying to shoot into a cage with a handheld, you're gonna have to use 3 and 4 times the amount of power to get that same read distance. And it's not gonna be predictable because a lot of those radio waves are bouncing off of the different chain link before it gets in. And then that tag has to shoot that signal back out. Just not a good idea. And then my last one is tagging people with standard tags. I can't take this tag and put it on me like a name tag because I am a big body of water and all that RF energy is going to be absorbed by my body instead of this tag. Will it work? Maybe. Sure. Am I going to get the same range? Definitely not. There are specific badges. Zebra makes a badge that is made for personnel. It looks just like a regular badge, except if you hold up the light or put light through it, you can see the antenna on the inside of it. Use the correct badge for the correct use case, or the correct tag for the correct use case. Last tip, when you're thinking about tag placement at all, it is about clear line of sight and not visual line of sight, but a clear RF line of sight. So yes, I can see through a chain link fence, but I can't shoot RF predictably through a chain link fence, right? I can't see through a box, but I know if that tag is on the inside of that box on this side, that I can shoot through a box just fine. I can shoot through plastic, but I can't shoot through the metal that's inside of the plastic container to the other side of it. A clear RF line of sight is key in being able to get those same radio waves we talked about to the tag and back from the tag to the antenna so that the reader can read it. All right, I think we've got that. It's not rocket surgery, people. Just put the tag on the box, make sure it faces the antenna. Next up, we're going to talk about software and integration, and maybe we have another special guest. See you then.